Gene Hackman's life was a profound narrative of resilience, solitude, and an unyielding spirit, a journey that began in hardship and culminated in the quiet solitude of his final years. His story is not just one of Hollywood stardom, but also of a man who faced abandonment, loss, and heartbreak, yet never allowed himself to be defeated. The news of his passing, alongside his wife Betsy Arakawa in their Santa Fe home, left the world in shock and raised haunting questions about the circumstances surrounding their deaths. The eerie scene scattered pills, a deceased dog, and the couple found in separate rooms painted a picture of a life that ended in quiet solitude, far removed from the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. Gene Hackman's early life was fraught with instability and emotional deprivation. Born on January 30, 1930, in San Bernardino, California, Hackman grew up in a household marked by violence and unpredictability. His father, Eugene Ezra Hackman, worked in the newspaper printing industry, but his unstable job forced the family to move frequently. The relationship between Hackman and his father was strained, as his father was a strict man who often resorted to violence in disciplining his children. This created a suffocating home environment, driving young Hackman, a sensitive yet rebellious boy, to seek refuge in the basement, where he carved out a private space to feel safe. When Hackman was just 13, his father abandoned the family without a word. One morning, while Hackman was playing with friends at the end of the street, he saw his father drive by and wave. That was the last time Hackman ever saw him, and that moment haunted him for the rest of his life. In a 2001 episode of Inside the Actor's Studio, when James Lipton asked him about that memory, Hackman couldn't hide his emotions, admitting it was a difficult recollection. He shared, "I was at the end of the street playing with some guys and he drove by and waved." When Lipton suggested that perhaps he had seen his father again after that, Hackman simply nodded in silence, holding back tears. The man who had taught him discipline and violence, who despite his harshness was still his only pillar of support, had now vanished. Hackman and his brother were left to live with their mother in their grandmother's house in Danville, Illinois. But instead of finding warmth from family, Hackman faced cold indifference and emotional neglect from his grandmother, who never truly accepted him. These experiences shaped Gene Hackman into a strong-willed and resilient individual, but also planted the seeds of rebellion and a lifelong sense of abandonment. Yet this was only the beginning. Hackman would continue to battle adversity, and at times he would be the one creating the very storms that shook his life. Hackman was haunted by the fact that his mother was the only one in his family who believed in him and encouraged him to pursue acting. She saw his potential and reassured him that he could become a talented performer. But that love was not enough to erase the emotional distance and coldness within their family, especially as his mother struggled with alcohol and the hardships of life. Then, in 1962, tragedy struck. Hackman's mother passed away in a devastating house fire. The fire ignited after she fell asleep with a lit cigarette in her hand while intoxicated, quickly engulfing the house in flames. For Hackman, it was not just the loss of his mother. It was the unbearable sorrow of knowing that she would never witness the success he had fought so hard to achieve. The one person who had believed in him was gone, unable to see her son become a star and reach the heights she had once hoped for him. Though Hackman rarely spoke publicly about this tragedy, he once admitted in an interview that if he could choose one film for his mother to watch, it would be I Never Sang for My Father. The film mirrored his own life, a story of loss. In it, Hackman played Gene Garrison, a son struggling with a complicated relationship with his aging father, desperately seeking love and acceptance. It was not only a reflection of Hackman's real-life struggles with his father, but also a confrontation with the emotions he had carried with him throughout his life. Like Hackman's own life, the film was a journey of exploring emotional deprivation, a yearning for love and acknowledgement, things he had been deprived of throughout his childhood. Through the film, Hackman expressed the deep sorrow of unresolved pain and an unfulfilled longing for affection, something that was never easy to attain. Despite the emotional scars of his early life, Hackman's determination to succeed in acting never wavered. After serving in the Marine Corps and studying journalism, he eventually found his way to the Pasadena Playhouse, where he honed his craft alongside fellow aspiring actors like Dustin Hoffman. Hackman's breakthrough came in 1967 with his role in Bonnie and Clyde, which earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. This marked the beginning of a prolific career that would span decades and include iconic roles in films like The French Connection, Unforgiven, and The Royal Tenenbaums. Hackman's talent and versatility as an actor earned him 2 Academy Awards and cemented his status as one of Hollywood's most respected actors. Yet, behind the scenes, Hackman grappled with personal demons and the weight of his past. His closest friend, Norman Gary, took his own life in 1982, leaving Hackman to confront yet another devastating loss. This pattern of abandonment by his father, his mother, and his best friend left him wary of forming deep connections, even with his own family. Hackman's reclusive nature became more pronounced in his later years. After retiring from acting in 2004, he retreated to Santa Fe with his wife Betsy, seeking peace away from the public eye. Their life together was simple and quiet, a stark contrast to the chaos of his earlier years. Yet, even in this solitude, Hackman found solace in his passions. He was an avid car enthusiast and competitive racer, finding freedom and exhilaration on the racetrack. His love for speed mirrored his approach to life, fearless, determined, and always pushing boundaries. In his final years, Hackman turned to writing, publishing 5 novels that reflected his deep understanding of history and human nature. This creative outlet allowed him to explore new horizons and leave behind a legacy that extended beyond his acting career. Yet, despite his accomplishments, Hackman's life was marked by a profound sense of isolation. His relationship with his children grew distant, and his final days were spent in near-complete seclusion. When he and Betsy passed away, their deaths went unnoticed for days, a poignant reminder of the solitude that had come to define his life. The public's reaction to Hackman's death was one of both sorrow and curiosity. His daughter Leslie's decision to sell the story of his passing to a tabloid raised questions about her motives and the family's dynamics. While some saw it as a betrayal, others understood it as a reflection of the complicated relationships that had defined Hackman's life. In the end, his story is not just about the loss of a Hollywood icon, but about the enduring human spirit, a man who faced abandonment and heartbreak, but never allowed himself to be defeated. Gene Hackman's legacy is one of strength, passion, and an unyielding determination to keep fighting, no matter the odds. His life serves as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of art to heal and inspire. Though he may have departed in silence, his impact on the world of cinema and the hearts of those who admired him will never be forgotten. In the end, Gene Hackman's story is not just about the man he was, but the lessons he leaves behind, lessons of perseverance, courage, and the enduring quest for peace in a tumultuous world. His journey reminds us that even in the face of abandonment and loss, it is possible to find strength, to create art, and to leave a lasting legacy that transcends the trials of life.